Hello again. This time it's time to look at the last game of the Olympiad in Budapest in Hungary. It was played 2024 and it was Gukesh's best tournament to date. He made the second best performance ever apparently, performance rating over 3059. Playing last round against Fedoseev. Fedoseev is Russian, but he doesn't play for Russia because all the good Russian players who is like so good at chess so they can afford to move abroad has done it after the invasion of Ukraine. So I don't know what team Fedoseev is playing for, but he's known as the big fish on chess.com. Is its handle there, and he plays a lot of blitz there, and but this time the big fish gets eaten by a shark. So White is playing the London system, and he's playing that I don't really understand why they always do like knight f3 first. When I was a London player, I played a lot of chess. I was told by someone that it is correct to not play knight f3 so quickly, maybe c3 here first. For two reasons. It's easier to meet queen b6 with queen b3, and black can never play knight h5 to trade the bishop because it's just being covered here. But for some reason modern players often play this move order. I don't really understand why. I guess maybe sometimes they want to do c4, but it looks like they always want to do c3. So here Fedoseev makes move queen h4. This looks like the Cambridge Springs variation. If this bishop was here and it opposite colored, it would be the Cambridge Springs variation. And I tried this kind of maneuvers to put pressure like this on black, but as we will see in the game, it's not a strategy that is without risk, because if you trade the white squared bishop for that knight, this bishop here on g4 becomes completely unopposed on the white squares. So then it could be a monster here, and we will see that in the game. Gukesh plays exactly and make this dark squared bishop a monster. So he plays. This is like the old way to play the Cambridge Springs, is to just play here. So when this comes, you can just take it. Basically, it's the simplest way to play. One alternative is, of course, to take first and then do that. But it also gives up the winning chances because this bishop should win the game later. So let's see what happens. So in regular Cambridge Springs, often they do like the rook here. So what will happen here is that I think in regular ones you can also take here and just sack a pawn, but because of this bishop is outside, that's not good now. But it looks like there is a tactical way here for black to get some compensation. Now queen is almost trapped, so he has to go back. So something like this. Black lost a pawn, but at least in normal Cambridge Springs, this is something that you have the compensation of this bishop. So, but it's unnecessary. So I'm kind of like his move better. And next time I play the Cambridge Springs, I will just do knight here and queen here and not lose that pawn, because it just looks fine. One difference between regular Cambridge Springs and this one is that in regular Cambridge Springs you have to be, imagine this bishop is on c1, when black does the bishop here, he could take here, and then when he takes back, it could take the bishop if you're not careful. So, but let's see what happens. He plays this. So here actually especially knowing what will happen in the game where he will just get outplayed by this bishop. He can't do anything against it positionally. Then I really think it would have been better here to just go back with the bishop here. Of course, let's see, go here maybe. Black is ready to do an attack here on the queen side, but yeah, this kind of a line, this kind of an attack is always met with a thrust in the center, and it's just very hard for, like, it's experience has shown that this kind of a position is relatively equal. But what won't be equal now is this endgame here. Computer says it's fine, but there will just be extremely hard for white to defend that the b2 pawn, because black's white squared bishop will cover like this, and this rook will attack here. Especially if black managed to trade this bishop, then he can just double on the b file, and it's just gonna be a disaster for white. So white tries to change the character and tries to trade some stuff here with c4, and black does this one good move, covering, and so he can't do knight e5 and start trading more stuff. And then he does this one, and here black could have done this move, and it would become like this, and this one looks like this. This first, when you look at this, it looks like, yeah, this is probably a draw. But when you analyze it closer, then you realize that black is winning. Here computer can see so far, so he knows it's winning. And the problem is for white that either black does this one and your bishop is very bad here, your knight is very bad here. But if you go here, then this is trapped, so you can just go here, here, and just simply win a pawn and get a winning position. So it's just like this. Looks fine for white at first, but it's actually positionally a winning position for black already here. And everything is to do with this dangerous trading away of the bishop on b5, on c6. But he does a5, which also fine, maybe not as good. And here actually black could have traded away the bishop. This also shows how strong this bishop is. White allows black to get such an ugly pawn structure here, because he cannot take here because of the fork. So he allows to get this, like the worst pawn structure ever, but still black doesn't do it, even if the computer thinks that pawn structure is just too bad. But Gukesh decides to keep the bishop, which is not, the computer doesn't like it so much, but it's still a better here for black. But white could have done like this to create counterplay. This was probably his last chance here. So white has won a pawn now, but it's still bad here, and this one will probably get lost. So this would also be, it would be good for black, but at least white has a pawn here. Maybe some chances for a draw. Potentially maybe it could even sack here. So white could have won a pawn there, but he played like that instead. And now it's bad for, really bad for white here. It looks fine, but it's not, because the bishop is so strong on f5. So black is just playing calm moves. It's hard for white to find any plan really. Okay, so now he decided to trade, and here important here that what white wants to do is that he wants to go here with a knight and trade the bishop. So Of course, black should not capture back, but he should prevent that positional move. So white has one pawn here, but the positional advantage of black is just too strong. So you can see that yeah, this bishop is compensating, like black is winning despite being a pawn down here. And now white goes into tactics here with d4 here, and it just shows like the strength of the bishop. Now it's already hard to not lose material here, so he couldn't find anything better than hold on, the knight f3 here. And black will win a material here. He will win an exchange. But not only that, he will also have his strong d3 pawn advancing here. So it's just a positional, like masterpiece by Gukesh. Here white never had any chance really. So I'm not doing so much commentary, but this is clearly one position for black. He has an exchange and a pawn up and strong pass pawns. So here was tactics here, winning here with, well, at least winning a piece here. Like this is only move, and then he could do something like this maybe. Now it's maybe threatening to do here. So yeah, it's just an easily winning position here for black. Nice game, and this was Gukesh's best performance ever, 30-59, and what a game, what an outplaying of the big fish here. So remember this positional. I've seen that it's dangerous to let this one be unopposed when your pawns are on the opposite square, because it's just being a monster.